It's Tuesday, January 18th, 2011, and this is the Morning Swim Show. I'm Jeff Cummings, filling in today for Peter Bush. In the Fitness Monitor today is Bruce Wigo. He's branched out lately beyond his duties as CEO of the International Swimming Hall of Fame, and he joins us today from Fort Lauderdale to tell us about his newest venture. Bruce, welcome to the Swim Show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Jeff.
Great.
Thanks
So tell us about this this new venture for you that you've created for open water swimmers.
Well, it is in my capacity of the Swimming Hall of Fame because this is a product that we've been interested in for actually a couple of years, but I think the usefulness of it has really just come into play since the tragedy over in Dubai and the tragedy with Fran Crippen. And as an open water swimmer since the time I was about 9 or 10, I've never really gave much thought to water safety. And in 1999, my son Wolf, who had just been in the 1996 Olympics, had a near fatal accident of shallow water blackout in our backyard pool. And the more I did some research over the years, and you know, the water is a dangerous element. We can't get around it, and particularly the open water. And we've created a device which is a safety device, but also can be used for taking some, you know, your bathing, your clothes, your shoes, your sunglasses, your wallet, your iPhone, and you can stick that stuff in here, seal this up in a dry bag type format, tie this around your waist, and go for a swim. But it also has the great benefit of it is a safety issue. So if you do have a pass out, if you do faint, I'm still convinced that if something like this were worn in FINA events and Fran passed out, whether it be from a shallow water blackout or fainting or any other type of issue, that he'd be here with us today. And you know, it doesn't mean that this is the only way for safety, but unless somebody's watching every swimmer in the open water at every minute, you run a risk.
Right, and I think this is a long time coming, and especially I think it could be something that could be very useful for, as you said, for open water competitions. Is this something that you brought up to FINA to possibly have around the waist of everybody that's competing in open water?
I have brought this up in the videos that we've done testing the product out, and it's been a while in testing to figure out to come up with something that's useful for this. And something that doesn't interfere. And the interesting thing about this, I've packed my shoes, my wallet, my cell phone, sunglasses, towel in here, and the thing weighs, 6-10 pounds. And once you inflate this and put it there, it's not a drag. You're not towing this. It kind of rides behind the turbulence and the backflow of your body, and doesn't interfere at all. And everyone that's tested this has said the same thing.
Well, I think is, like as you said, very good for some organization like FINA to use for their competitions, but also for the casual swimmer who goes to the beach, wants to go out for a swim, and is worried about leaving their clothes, their iPhone, their wallet out there. What kind of reception have you received from people who have been testing it in terms of, as we saw in the video, it drags behind you? Have they said it interferes with their stroke, with their kick at all?
No, that's what's amazing. I've been out in rough water. It doesn't interfere with your kick because it actually is closer to your thighs, and you're not towing it. If you watch the video, you'll see that it's not in a towing. It doesn't stay in the same position. It just kind of is resting back there as if you would you'd throw a ball or something there. It would just stay there. And the interest really, I'm not sure that as it is in its current form, this is the device that needs to be used in open water swimming where there's 25 or 30 participants for a world championship. But there may be some applications that. But for the example, a masters team that wants to go train out in the open water, or triathletes that want to train together and there's nobody watching them. Right now, people just go for a swim. And, you know, we've really been fortunate that there haven't been catastrophic accidents happening, and actually there have been some. But when you're training, you're going out there, this is a kind of a life buoy. Someone's kind of called it, you know, your swim buddy, but I don't think we want to encourage somebody going out swimming alone. Although certainly as a kid and into my 20s, you know, I think nothing about going swimming a mile or a half mile straight out in the ocean and coming back.
Well, I think definitely a lot of people that that are probably watching the show do swim out in the open water alone. They don't have someone on the beach watching them. They don't have a fellow swimmer with them. And they think, I'm a strong swimmer, I'm a healthy swimmer. And, in the wake of Fran Crippen's death, I think they're probably looking at themselves a little bit differently and say, if someone like Fran could have this happen to him, with the water temperature as it was, or even just, how he physically was, that, something like this, maybe if I take it with me, if I find myself in trouble, I can have this to hold on to.
Well, there's all kinds of incidences that could take place. For another, using my son Wolf again, sometime around 2001, after this incident where he passed out in our backyard pool of shallow water blackout, he went out body surfing in Perth after having eaten a lunch with some clams, and for the first time in his life he had an anaphylactic shock. And one of his fellow teammates, Brad Schumacher, who was a 1996 double Olympic gold medalist, if he had not been there, my son would not have made it then. So there are all kinds of unforeseen things. And, it's swimming from point to point. You can put your clothes in and go across. But when you're out in the open water, this also provides something for a boat or a jet skier to look out for. Whereas if you're just swimming down in the water, you're not as visible. This is a bright orange color, and it has that other safety component in it. And when you read, it wasn't just Fran over there. When you read what Christine Jennings went through over in Dubai, if this had been there, she could have grabbed onto it and held herself and waved and drawn attention. And, the other thing, that if Fran had been wearing one of these, it would have been very noticeable that this buoy was not moving. Instead of what possibly happened, it's all conjecture, that he just took a stroke and stopped and sunk below the surface of the water, maybe an inch or right there, never would have been seen. But if this buoy was being used, if this safety device was being used, it would have been very noticeable that to any spectator, that's not moving, even if they were some distance away.
Well, Bruce, this sounds like a really great device, and I look forward to seeing how FINA implements any ideas that you might have to them, and anything that comes from this, be sure to let us know.
I will, Jeff, and thank you. And I know that you're going to be carrying this on your website and through the International Swimming Hall of Fame, and any profit that comes from this is going to go to support the International Swimming Hall of Fame. So I hope people will give it a try.
Will do. Thanks a lot for joining us, Bruce.
Well, thank you, Jeff.
All right, that's Bruce Wigo joining us from Fort Lauderdale. And as he said, if you're interested in purchasing the swim safety device, you can find it in the Swimming World Swim Shop. Just go to swimmingworldmagazine.com/swimshop. That's our show for today. Thanks for watching.